Hello guys, welcome back to a video. Today is day 34, season 2, so it's going to be starting off down here. Finally it's just the defender popped up. She doesn't really get me used much, she's just sort of the backup when the disco is being used. She's sort of like the runaround, basically. She gets used for little like shop errands and stuff, if the disco is being used. But we do tend to keep a lot of stuff in the back of the canopy, like chainsaws and stuff. Yeah, she doesn't get used too much. Still runs out. Nice 200 stuff up there. The trail's been parked back there after being used for the full lawnmower. Your stuff in the shed. Ducks and ducklings knocking about there. Chickens and chicks knocking about. Lawnmowers parked back up. Quads. Also parked up. Rake, mower, baler, mini baler and the wrapper on the shed. We don't get too many jobs with the other kit. It's mainly the mini baler that gets jobs. Sometimes you get wrapping jobs. Sometimes we get baling, raking and mowing jobs, but not as much as the mini bales. As a lot of people have their own kit. We'll get contractors. And here we have Matt in the T6080 with the flatbed trailer on the back, and he's got a mini digger there. The reason why they always park here is because it's an easier place to park, but he's just filled up the mini digger. The oil tank there. But they normally sit here, put into the sat nav where they're going, and then obviously they might check over the trailer as well before they head off. But he's heading off to a fencing job. Well, I say a fencing job, all it really is knocking some posts in with a digger bucket. Because basically they don't have a post knocker, so they've asked us, can we use the mini digger? So he's just going to use the bucket for now. We do normally get fencing jobs, but that doesn't mean the sort of post knocker. A lot of the time it's digging the holes for the posts, whereas this one knocking in the posts. A lot of people get like the fencing contractors in, but yeah. The farmer does have quite a lot of fence posts, I know, at the other farm. Well, he has them spare. He's obviously not using them here, but I think he keeps them spare for himself. And sometimes he uses them for jobs if needed, but a lot of the time they don't get fencing jobs, and if they do, it doesn't involve, bringing their own fence posts. They're already at the farm. But yeah, it's given the mini digger job, so she's not sat for once. T6 6616 parked up. 6616 actually apparently does get used a lot in the winter. Just obviously not on video. But yeah, she's kind of sits in the shed in the summer apparently, and then she goes on the bale trailer. Yeah, she's got bird bags and first spread out. They need to get, I think, one or two more depending on how many they have back there, and then that's them with their sort of fur bags restocked. Then we've got Matt's animal part there, Mitsubishi animal. Turn the part back up. The horizontal trailer and the bale trailer parked up. Farmer might be sending the telehandler off to get a new exhaust, because currently she doesn't have a lead exhaust, she just has the hole where the exhaust would have been coming from, and to get the light on either side of the wheel, because she didn't have them anymore. Obviously he would have got a beacon, but he's found one spare in the box. But yeah, the lights go either side of the boom, and then obviously the exhaust is on the back. She currently doesn't have one, so he's going to send her off at some point. Well, he says he needs to do it just to get it looking nice again, and those lights don't really do too much. They sort of show in front, they don't show the boom. Yeah, so he bought it without them, so he knew. But he mentioned it when he bought it, he was going to fix it. Kane size trailer and a buck rake parked up. Double bales parked up, but not for too long. Then here we have quite a John Deere outfit. We have Liam in the 6920S with the John Deere 3765 trail forge on the back. Come back from lifting some grass for someone. So it's been a while since Liam's been on the farm. He's not always on the farm, as he works on other farms. He's currently wearing green overalls, so he's quite fitting to the green and yellow. He does normally wear a yellow hat as well, just for a bit of banter really. Everyone makes fun of him for it, but yeah, so he's sticking to the sort of green and yellow colour. But yeah, we don't really get too many lifting grass jobs anymore. It's either got to do with the baling kit or the silage kit. But it's not really too much with the trail forger, because obviously a lot of people have harvesters or they get the contractors in. But so he's just been lifting a farm not too far away. I think it's only a small holding. Well, I say small holding. They do a bit of silage, they don't do too much. They do like 2 small fields, like cows. So they have about 10 to 15 cows, so not too much. But the 6920S, we thought we'd get her out of the shed, and obviously she was parked on, well, in front of it anyway, so it made sense to keep her on there. And obviously the John Deere colour, John Deere and John Deere would just fit. So he's going into the yard there, roaring down the road. Muck spreader will be pulled out at some point. When I say pulled out, it's not really in any overgrownness. But yeah, she'll be pulled out and used at some point in the next couple of months. 10 in the bucket. The Mikhail Bale spikes are parked on, well, sorry, not parked on, but they have the IBC on top, as just to sort of create a bit, take up less space really. And she doesn't fit with the rolls on, so the rolls have been taken there next to the bucket. That bucket's not being used because it doesn't really need to be used for the knocking in the posts. But they thought if they put the IBC on top of the bale spikes, it doesn't take up too much space and it doesn't block anything in. So they're going to keep that there for now. In the field, 6 ewes are enjoying themselves. And then we've obviously got, no surprise, the farmer's son in the 7740 with the sheep trail on the back. He's got a couple of sheep at the back there. He's just shut the back there and he's just hopped in. He's just taking a picture of it, just to show what he's at. But yeah, so he's sitting in the cab a bit, as he's waiting for his dad, because he can't remember what field they're going in. So he's about to open the gate, obviously wait for his dad. So yeah, he's doing that there. And then obviously got a couple of ewes left, and then we've got the disco parked up on the cow trailer with the farmer there loading up the last cow and the bull. Bull just about makes it into the trailer, because they're so beefy, because they're beef cattle. Only 2 of them fit in there, and maybe like 2 calves. So now that there's now the bull's in, there's 10 cows in the field, so that's 10 back and forth, because you only get 2 in the trailer, unfortunately, which is quite a big trailer. So that's 10 cows, so that's like 5 trips back and forth, something like that. I can't remember if I've done the maths wrong or not, but obviously when it's just the cows in the field, a lot of the time you end up having to go back for 1 cow who happens to be left over, which, depending if it's the Herefords, then they can go in the sheep trailer, but if it's like the Charolais or the Simmentals / Herefords, then they're a bit big, they don't really fit. But yeah, I don't think he's going to get a bigger cow tray, he doesn't really need it. It's just, he happens to have beef cows, so they're all being taken out. ready for third cut bales, and then they'll be in the fields until they go in the shed. So they're just enjoying themselves until, well, they get put on the trailer, and obviously the cows are being put in a different field this time. They're being put in the further away field, which they did at silage in last. So yeah. So at the junction here we have the beautiful 70th anniversary Ultra. Got the farmer with his double bale star. He's been moving some bales. Now we have a young lad, 15-16, in T7 220 with a front buck rake, and he's been pulled over by the police, probably because he was underage, but he's not too bothered. It's not the first time for him, so they're probably just gonna check over him or whatever. He's done his theory test, he just hasn't done his driving test yet, so he's about to get a car, so he should be fine after that. But yeah, they've just pulled him over there, so he's going to have to explain that to his boss, or his dad, whoever it is. But yeah, not the best day for him. I believe he was headed back to his farm after pushing up some grass for someone. I think it was his mate, or they might have another yard or something, that they keep the silage at, separate to the main yard. But yeah, not too good of a day for him. Hopefully he'll let him off and he'll be fine. But yeah, I bet he's sweating buckets right now. So yeah, so if the guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and bye.